Is Blizzard strangling the classic WoW community? Let's take a look at this.
Entertainment is taking a garrote wire to the throat of the classic community
Okay.
and strangling it. That may be a little hyperbolic, but
Okay.
I thought it might get your attention.
It
There
did.
are so many options now to play classic.
Yep.
And while most of them are solid, it does seem to be fracturing the community as a whole. In today's video, we're going to talk about the history of all the classic era game modes. And
Okay.
what this means for the classic community as a whole. But first, an obligation.
Okay, Cygor.
Have you heard of Zygor? World of Warcraft's ultimate add-on for leveling, gold making, achievement farming, and mount collecting.
Very
I
nice.
thought you might. You seem like the well-informed type. But did you know that it has been fully updated to work
Wow.
with the War Within expansion
Holy
and
moly.
all versions of classic WoW? It's true. If you're curious, you can find a link to the Zygor Guide's website in the description below.
I actually
Check
like
it out.
Cygor. I think the main thing I dislike about Cygor is that I think it's a subscription. Like you're paying like a subscription for like, you know, for guides and stuff like that. But I guess I don't know. I feel like most guides are like kind of like on WoWhead anyway or whatever, Icy Veins or whatever.
Anyway,
But I
back
mean
to
for
the
people that
video.
want it and want to support them, that's cool.
Blizzard released Classic WoW in 2019 to positive reception. And 2 years later, we got the Burning Crusade Classic
really 2 years?
and Season of Mastery.
Uh-huh.
It was then that gamers hoisted their girthy forms up out of their gamer chairs and decreed to the heavens, is pretty good. And then finally,
That's okay.
the best expansion that absolutely no one would ever disagree with, Wrath.
In retrospect, I don't really know about that. Okay, like I don't, I don't really know about that. After playing through it again, yeah.
of the Lich King dropped in 2022, but during its run, unofficial hardcore began growing in
this was good though.
popularity. To say hardcore spread like wildfire across the WoW community
Yeah.
would be an understatement. It spread.
It was actually quite crazy how popular hardcore became. It's the same thing with like classic in general in 19. It was so huge, and hardcore has such a big community around it too, man. Like even people from outside World of Warcraft came to WoW to play classic hardcore for the first time.
like a cancer
It was
or
so
a
sane.
plague, the good kind. And soon enough, hardcore streamers were popping up left and right.
Yeah, true.
YouTube montages were being made of people
Insane.
dying in ridiculous ways and getting hundreds of thousands of views.
Yeah, Pokimane tried hardcore. It's so weird. XQC and like bunch of like random people outside of the like completely outside the WoW sphere played.
An unofficial, fan-made game mode for WoW completely overshadowed one of their most popular expansions. Now, obviously, Blizzard didn't want to miss the opportunity to make some money,
Okay.
and so the official hardcore servers were released, just 11 months after Wrath. And to Blizzard's credit, it was pretty good. However,
I actually think official hardcore was pretty fine. I think it's been good. Yeah.
while you can argue that perhaps Blizzard didn't realize
It was a bit
what they
late, but it was
had done,
good.
there is no denying that the release of official hardcore put one of the final nails in Wrath of the Lich King's coffin. I mean, people
I
still
feel like saying that it's like another game's fault that a lot of people didn't play Wrath maybe or whatever, I feel like that's copium, okay? I mean, you know, at the end of the day, man, if there's better versions of, people will play whatever they want to play, right? I just think Wrath was, I don't know, maybe it's because I pucked a lot, or maybe it's because like I didn't have like a specific like steady guild with it. I don't know, I don't think Wrath were crazy hype. I don't know, there's competition, people played Wrath a lot. Wrath of GDKP. I think a lot of people just raid locked Wrath. Same thing with Cataclysm nowadays. It's just a lot of raid logging.
played Wrath,
Which
but
is fair.
it was really just for raiding. And their release schedule for new phases was, well, it was pretty slow. Hardcore just had too much content and was just too fun for the majority of people to really care about doing the same raid every week in
That's a good
Wrath.
time.
Streamers were playing to massive audiences.
Oh yeah, Asmongold freaking did
YouTube
it.
videos of strategies and death montages were popping up daily. For the next few months, hardcore was king.
Yeah.
But these happy days wouldn't last forever.
No.
Hell, they barely even lasted 3 months because Blizzard decided to release their...
To be fair, I feel like hardcore was like a big meta for like almost a year. Like, bro, the hardcore hype lasted for a while, man. Dude, that was a crazy amount of time.
Season of Discovery in November of that year. Season of Discovery, abbreviated to SOD.
Sod off!
Did to hardcore what hardcore did to Wrath.
I don't think so. I think saying like one version killed the next version, whatever, I feel like that's a little bit copium. I feel like some games just kind of runs their course, right? And the whole hardcore thing, it was really hype for like almost a year. And, you know, at that point, you know, people were kind of just chilling a little bit with it, right? And it comes in hype periods, right? There's like some hardcore stuff coming back because people haven't played it for a while, and that's really how it goes, right? Did he skip Season of Mastery? He did not mention Season of Mastery, and maybe that's for the better. Yep.
Maybe not to the same extent, but it's hard to compete with an exciting new game mode, especially one hyped up as Season of Discovery was. Season of Discovery dominated the classic community for months, even though many aspects of it were not looked on all that fondly. But something had changed with Season of Discovery. Not as many streamers were playing it. There were much fewer videos of it popping up on YouTube than hardcore had. People just weren't as into SOD.
I think the whole YouTube thing with SOD, I think it's because hardcore translates better to videos. You know, and saying a game isn't popular because there's not a lot of videos on it, that's not really true. I feel like there was a lot of hype for SOD, right? I feel like that there was actually quite a lot of it, but hardcore just translates better to content. Like, and that's why there was like a lot of it, like wildfire, because it's like hardcore death, hardcore dungeon, hardcore drop, hardcore this, right? It's a lot more, you know, high stakes in a way.
As they were for hardcore. This fracture in the community can be felt in all 3 versions of Classic. Sure, they all had 1 or 2 decently populated servers, but there seemed to be such a fatigue for Classic WoW. It would almost seem like Blizzard has cursed the Classic community with the burden of choice. We all love that Classic grind, and anything they can do to spice it up will always be welcomed. But the unfortunate reality is Blizzard barely gives their Classic properties a chance to breathe and flourish before pushing out the next big item.
I do feel like a lot of versions have had a lot of time to breathe, though, to be fair. It's not that. But I do definitely agree with the fact that there is almost too much choice at this point, and it's very much fracturing the community in many ways, right? Yeah. I don't feel any fatigue from the community and thought it was literally booming. I agree.
Slow release of new content, probably due to the Classic team working on Hardcore and SOD. Hardcore had a decent run, but your average player would never be able to hit 60 in the 3 months that it was popular, and season...
3 months? Okay, maybe I'm on copium, but I feel like there was a lot more hardcore stuff happening than just 3 months, man. I feel like it was more than a year almost of just, like, a lot of hardcore stuff, man. Okay, like, that was a lot of hardcore stuff for a long time.
Of Discovery,
the hype didn't last that long. Maybe he's talking about official hardcore, right? But I'm just looking at it from a perspective of, like, prior to the actual release of hardcore, there was, like, a lot of people playing it, right? He's talking about official hardcore servers. Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. That's true. I guess I guess I'm looking at it at that way as well. You were obviously addicted, but it wasn't that long. I was not addicted. I was just enjoying it. Yeah, I guess like the actual release of hardcore was like 3 to 4 months of hype kinda, but the unofficial went on for so long, right?
For almost a year, due to a steady trickle of phases. All these factors have fragmented the Classic community. People still play hardcore, people still play Classic, and people still play SOD. But your average person most likely only plays 1. But it isn't all doom and gloom. Hardcore has recently seen a substantial uptick in players, and Cataclysm seems to be starting strong. and SOD is still trucking along.
Yep.
Perhaps, given enough time, all of these aspects of the Classic community can flourish. You know, as long as Blizzard stops adding constant new options to Classic every few months,
It is a bit of a problem with having so many options, dude, because it bleeds into each other, right? Yeah.
should be good. That being said, there have been whisperings of Classic Plus on the horizon. Some
Classic. You knew that was coming. You knew that was coming.
players have
Dude,
received
Classic Plus has been on the horizon for the past 10 years, man. Guys, they're gonna do it soon. It's gonna come, man. Trust me, it's gonna come, dude. Dude, retail is freaking getting Classic Plus before Classic, man, with the 20-year anniversary.
surveys asking
Don't
for
get me
their
wrong, I would love it. I would really love it, but it's people. It's like the boy who cried wolf, right? That it's like that.
feedback on potential features that could draw in more players to Classic
Mm-hmm.
WoW. Although nothing has been confirmed, it has stoked further anticipation of Classic Plus coming in the future.
Okay.
Although some players feel that the proposed features would cause the more traditional Classic style of gameplay to begin to resemble the more modern version of the game.
I think if they decide to do something like that, they just need to not cater to everyone. Choose, if you do some Classic Plus stuff, cater to the people that like Classic. Because I feel like SOD, a little bit of a problem with SOD was that they tried kind of to cater to both. And like, you know, not either is going to be super happy with it, right? They need to be like, okay, this is going to be a Classic thing for the people that like Classic. And we're going to do it, you know, to fit that niche, right? Because you can't make everybody happy, especially not the World of Warcraft scene, right?
Which, as people have pointed out, would defeat the point
Yeah.
of it being labelled Classic at all. But what do you think?
They will cater to the
Will we
masses?
see
Yeah.
Classic Plus come to fruition? Will Blizzard fumble it? Or do you just not care, and you're going to keep playing Turtle WoW regardless? Let us know in the comments below. And until next time, be well.
I mean, interesting enough video though. I do agree with it to a large degree that a lot of it has kind of bled into each other, I think. And that it's a little bit of a problem because we almost have too many versions of the game to play at this point, right? It's like too much. This is what happens when you try to compromise with the entire player base. Everybody wants something different. A lot of people were begging for hardcore mode, so they made one. Then people were begging for SSF hardcore, so they made that. Then a lot of people were begging for Classic Plus, so they made SOD, and so on. The community themselves were begging for those game modes, and I won't fault Blizzard for them just giving the community what they want, majority wanted. It's a difficult thing, right? Because you can't keep always giving people exactly what they want, because there's always going to be more people want all the time. So I agree with that sentiment for sure.